Well, usually if it's a bad shop, the first thing clicks in their head, how much can I get them for? I'm not the one that made them worry. I mean, it's not us talking to them. It's what they seen on TV that weekend. The banks, unfortunately, cannot give you any more money than the face value. 5,000 face 90%. I literally think I got less than 1,000 back there.
Welcome back, guys, and thank you so much for being here. I just wanted to quickly say before we get into this interview that this is probably my favorite interview ever with Mike from Mid-America Coins. We did, of course, talk about silver demand and what's going on with the market, but more importantly, we shared a lot of very interesting stories about silver stacking, 90%, people taking advantage of others, unfortunately, and, even somebody's huge loss of 90% silver being spent at McDonald's, things like that. So I hope you stick around and watch this interview because it was absolutely great. And I do want to thank Mike for joining me once again. Always a pleasure to have him on the channel. So let's get into it. But really quick before we do me a favor. Don't forget to make sure you are subscribed. If you haven't done so yet, I definitely appreciate you helping me continue to grow the channel. And also take a look at this awesome giveaway from our sponsor, SD Bullion, where you could win 500 1-ounce American Silver Eagles. Check this out. SD Bullion is at it again. Last year, they gave away a full monster box of 2022 Silver Eagles. Now this year, they're doing it with a full monster box of 2023s. If you want your chance to win a full sealed monster box of 2023 Silver Eagles, make sure you head over to sdbullion.com/silverseeker or click the link in the description below. Thank you to SD Bullion for sponsoring today's video. All right, Mike, so welcome back to the channel. It's been a few weeks since we've had you on. How have things been in the last few weeks in the silver and gold world, good sir?
Oh, man, I'll tell you, it's been really crazy. A few weeks ago, I had 5,000 ounces, or not 5,000 ounces. We had almost 10,000 ounces of silver, but we had 5,000 face 90%. I literally think I got less than 1,000 back there.
Wait, 5,000 face 90%? So what's going on with the demand? Like I've seen premiums, so since the whole SVB banking thing, and we won't get too deep into that because it's been covered to death on YouTube, but what has the demand looked like since that day? Like as I've heard from online retailers, it's been phenomenally crazy. Is it the same for like local coin shops like yourself?
Yeah, well, in our area, we're probably one of the bigger ones. The thing is, I usually do the Watermaker gun show, and I just got off the phone with him. I had to cancel. I actually got a guy flying in from California to meet with me on Friday, and he has a lake home here, and he says, Mike, I need to invest a lot of money, and he said, I want to meet with you. You're my guy to go to. So I said, that's fine. At the gun show, I might do $20,000-$30,000 in sales. Now I don't make that, but that's what we'd probably do in sales. And for my customers to reach out and the numbers that I won't go into the numbers he's talking. It's definitely, I need to cancel that show and be here for them.
So the day you opened up after the weekend that the SVB bank went down, like, was there a lot of like foot traffic coming, or do you mostly get phone calls, or how's that work?
Well, it was a little of both. Actually, we got here, we usually get here between 8:30 and 9. Luckily, we got here a little after 8. We got set up, and we had people literally at 9 o'clock tapping on my door. We don't open until 10 here. So, it was kind of, yeah, well, we let them in, and it started that way. And all day long, we was just basically, I'm watching silver walk out the door, walk out the door. It was literally crazy. We're, like you said, we're not going to go too far into it, but when you got banks, my bank sent me a letter because some of my customers are going up there and saying, I need to draw my cash. I want to invest it. And it wasn't a large amount, $5,000, $6,000 here and there, but the bank started getting worried. So they emailed me a letter asking me to please, your money's safe. Please don't have these people worry. Well, I'm not the one that made them worry. I mean, it's not us talking to them. It's what they seen on TV that weekend, and they seen what happened. And Monday morning, they're waking up and the banks are literally almost bankrupt. Look what happened to Swiss. I mean, it's a crazy market right now. People are scared. I'm noticing a lot of companies online are completely sold out 90%. We're almost there. And, and I did notice, I think I mentioned this to you. I'm not going to mention the company. One of the companies actually put on there that for a pre-order 90%. How can you do that? I mean, there's the 90%, you got to walk through your door before you have it. It's not something they're making anymore.
Right. So it's not like they can just get 90% whenever they want it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. So, actually, and what brought it to my attention yesterday, I had a customer come in and mention it to me, and I went on there and looked, and sure enough, they were right. I mean, said, and they asked me about that, but they bought my 90% because it was live.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I get it. I probably wouldn't feel comfortable placing a pre-order for 90% because, like you said, I mean, how do they know they're getting it? It's not out. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but it sounds like
No,
you're
you definitely are 100% right. I wouldn't take an order like that for the simple reason I know I can't guarantee that.
right.
I mean, what happens if Joe walks in? I only got $10 face. I owe 1,000 face out. That don't help me.
Right.
I mean, yes, we're going to buy it, but I mean, so I set it back until I get it. It could be 6 months down the line. I mean, a year down the line. You never know. I mean, I have had people, but this was just before this all happened, carry in 1,000 count bag to me. But the chances of that happening right now with this market probably ain't going to happen right now.
Do you think 90% silver is becoming more scarce as time goes on?
I do, because you got to remember, and I always said that it was Grandpa's silver that made our pure silver. I'm talking sterling silver, 90% stuff like that. Today, if you look at your books today, your red books and everything else, and look at the count of Morgan silver dollars, do you think them counts are really accurate? Now they're going from way back when they first minted it.
Yeah.
I can name 3 different times where there was a great big meltdown on silver dollars.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Especially Silvertown during the 80s brings to mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, you're right though. So PCGS actually on their website has survival rates. So in other words, you can look at like a Morgan silver dollar, for example, say just a common date, 83 Carson, and you can look at it and it shows the mintage, but it also shows how many are actually estimated to be around, and the number is a stark difference. So it makes sense.
And even then, it's not accurate.
Right. And it's just an estimate. Yeah, it's just an estimate.
It's an estimate, correct.
Right.
It's not accurate. I mean, it's like the ones you see around a lot, and that's because a lot of our grandfathers and stuff on 21 Morgans, that's why people call them the most common. They all looked so nice that they kept them. But the older ones, they were sending in to melt down. Back in 82 with the Hunts brothers, a lot of stuff got melted. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. And then we went through it again in the early 2000s. I mean, and now we are again trying to come up with silver. And I mean, and this is just an estimate. They're saying there's probably available right now about 10% of the silver population because everybody's holding it. And that could be pretty close to accurate. I mean, and then once again, this is just an assumption. That's all they do. Nobody can give you a guarantee that's all that's out there. At this point, my guys I haven't seen in 8 years, 10 years are coming out of the woodwork. Like I said, I got that gentleman called me flying in for California, and he's flying in. It's early for him. He's not coming in for his summer vacation. He's coming in because he wants to move this money, and he feels safer with his guy he's been dealing with for years, which is me. And so, and I understand it. I understand it. He don't trust moving it through the banks. He's bringing in a cashier's check to move it into my account, but he wants me to move it into silver and gold. We probably going to have a lot of it for him already, but at the same time, he tell me he don't want to take it home either. He's going to pay me to store it here, and that's okay too, because we do that. But the thing is, these people are getting worried. They don't even want to put them in safe deposit boxes anymore.
I don't trust safe deposit boxes. I tell you though, I don't know if you saw the video earlier this week that I released, but I used to pick up $half from this one bank, 8 to 10 boxes a week for my coin roll hunts, and so they always kind of looked at me as my half.
I do remember that. I think I was down there one time visiting you because I had some stuff to do in St. Louis, and we went to one of them banks, and I sat there with you and watched you carry them up and. Well, yeah, because I think that bank, they had all them stairs, if I'm not mistaken. I'm saying, God, he's crazy.
Yeah. And anyway, I got called by one of the tellers. I don't know if you saw that video, but I picked up 16 rolls of 40% $half for face value. And they had,
Holy cow.
well, listen, they had gotten over 100, it was like 110 or 112 or something like that rolls come through their door, all silver. And there was
Wow.
90% in there as well. And they didn't really know what to do with them. They called me up just to double check. I mean, they could have used Google, but they didn't. They just called me, and I was happy to go up and take a look at them. And they allowed me, they had 5 people, and they allowed me to take a 6th of them. However, I did not get to take any of the 90, but they had rolls that were marked like 60 through 63, 65 through 69, 64. And I got to take 16 rolls of the 40 percenters though for face value, so I'm not mad about that.
Well, here we actually had one of our bankers.
Or
He
18
passed
rolls.
away.
I'm sorry, 18 rolls. I didn't mean to interrupt
This is
you.
a couple of years ago. We just lost one of our banker friends, but he was running a bank, and the girls was going to cash out this lady's silver dollars she needed for her medicine, pay her electric bill. It was $385. He called me up and said, Mike, I'm going to send this lady down to you. We're not going to do that to her. I told her she'd get a little bit more money for it. Wind up being she had some better dates in there and stuff. I spent almost $8,500 with her on them silver dollars. And lo and behold, she was tickled pink. And she tried to get the bank money. They wouldn't take it, because that's not their job. So she slipped in and just had pizza delivered. I don't know how many of them people ate pizza because they didn't know it was coming, but I thought it was kind of cool. But she was bound and determined to give them something for their honesty.
Well, so granted, I wasn't there when they got all these halves in, but based on what the teller said, what the teller told me is that they actually tried to tell this person that they might be worth more, and they didn't seem to care. So I don't know. Maybe it was left to them from a grandparent or something, or maybe they just found it when they were cleaning out an attic. Who knows? But either way.
And we hope people today look at these YouTubes and listen up. I mean, if it's silver, take it somewhere where you can get a little bit more money. The banks, unfortunately, cannot give you any more money than the face value by law. And that's why, when you hear them say that it's worth a little more, take it somewhere else. Get it checked out. Maybe ask them, do you know where I can probably take it to talk to these people? Unfortunately, in Grove, we're a small town, so everybody knows where to take it. And that's why they got it directly to me. I mean, make sure that the people got, and she was so happy. She said she was set for a year easy.
That's
that
awesome.
She don't have to worry about her medicine anymore. Because, some of these people on fixed incomes, people's got to understand they don't have much money anyway. So if you can get more money for your stuff, go ahead and get it. Don't say, well, no, that's okay. Just take it. I mean, do what they're asking you.
And I would even go as far as to say is to not just go to one place, right? I mean, because you want to find someone honest.
Yeah.
I think I've told you this story, but I don't think I've shared it on the channel before. So this is like a secondhand story. I wasn't the one who experienced this, but it was told to me by somebody else. But basically, there's this gold buyer, like one of the gold buyer shops in St. Louis, like down in the city, that they were at, trying to, I don't know, scrap some gold or whatever. And they saw this lady come in, and she needed to get them to help her bring in these buckets of coins to this gold buyer shop. Well, apparently, they looked through them and told her, oh, well, these are all not the silver ones. They're just worth face value. And the guy says, dude, I was looking at them. I could see the coins. They were definitely pre-64s. Mercs, Benjis, Franklins, or Benjis, Walkers, things like that. And apparently she believed them, and they ran them all through their coin counter and gave her face value for them.
Oh my God! That's the type of people I have no respect for.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a special place for them, and
this is definitely a true story that just happened to me yesterday. I had a customer I delivered to on Tuesday. Well, they run a business. They was in a hurry. They gave me a bag of 10,000 cash. And I said, that's okay. We've done enough business. I'll run it to the counter. And I checked because he wanted me to check it. And I said, that's fine, because he was really busy. He had people in his place and everything. I brought it back here, and my wife was here when I ran it. And I picked up the phone. And I called them back. I said, hey, look, you gave me 11,020, not 10,000. I said, what do you want me to do? You want me to run the money back to you? He said, no, put it in silver. So now he has a credit of 1,020 here that he's going to come in this weekend and pick up silver from me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, because I mean, the bottom line is, and this is what I always tell everybody, I don't want to take any more than I agreed to pay for, or any more than I agreed to sell. I'm not like that. I think more dealers, if they would realize that, Well, just remember what God says, do unto others you want to be done unto you. It comes back 10 times full, whatever you do. And that's what I look at. I don't go to church every Sunday, but I am a God believing man, and I believe that that's what'll happen. It'll come back and haunt you if you do something wrong.
Uh, Based on like the years I've been doing this, I mean, in my experience, there's more good coin shops than bad ones, but man, there are definitely some bad ones out
There
there.
is some shady ones. I mean, I actually there's one in Tulsa. I won't mention what company it is. This happened 2 years ago. The guy went in, took it. He told him straight out, and that's what we always tell. And even on your channel, I heard you say that. Don't ever tell them that you don't know what you're doing or what you got. I mean, that you don't know what it's worth. That's usually if it's a bad shop, the first thing clicks in their head: how much can I get them for? And that's bad. But anyway, they went in. They took 90% in. They had some silver dollars. The guy looked at them all, and his buddy was with him. Now, his buddy is from Bonita, which is only about 30 miles from me. And he looked at it, and his buddy kind of knew a little bit about it, knew that silver dollars were weigh a little bit more than quarters and halves. The guy threw it all in a bag. He says, "This is what I'll pay you. It's all 90%." But his buddy said, "Well, why don't we check another place out?" He said, "I got a place close to me that I think you ought to take it to, and don't sell it just yet. Let's see what we can get for it." So he listened to him. When he came to me, they set the bag down and they said, "All I got is this 90%. Mike, what's it worth?" And I sat there and I opened the bag up. I said, "Well, these are 90% true, but these weigh more than these halves and quarters and dimes." I said, "They're common dates." And at that point, I was paying around $20. Silver was a little cheaper on silver dollars and up. I said, "These are worth about $20, because they were pretty wore down. They were 21s, but real common." I said, "But now these here are worth about 14 times face. Silver was trading out around 13 something, and I was paying a little over." Uh, and I looked at him, and he said, "I appreciate your honesty." He said, "I'll be right back." They went out to the car. They brought me in over a half a bag of dimes and everything else. But the bottom line is what that shop did to themselves was they brought in a handful to test them. And that's where you never know if you're being tested. They like to buy honesty, and I told them straight out that these are 0.77, not 0.715 of an ounce on the silver dollars. They like that honesty, and that's why they sold it all to me.
That's awesome. You want to hear a story that I heard that's heartbreaking?
No, let's hear it.
So this was told to me again, but I've actually shared this on the channel. There was this guy who used to pick up a little bit of 90% here and there. He'd go into a coin shop, buy $1 or $2 face, whatever. He'd put it into a Folgers can that he kept in top of his closet. Well, back in 2011, when silver jumped to almost $50 an ounce, he decided he should cash out. So he goes to grab that Folgers can, and it has way less in it than he thought. Like way less. Like he was thinking the can should have at least been a half full, and it was maybe a third, like an eighth of the full, like just a little bit less. Right. So obviously freaking out, trying to figure out what's going on. His wife gets home from work, and he asks her about it, and she goes, "Oh, that can on top of the closet." And he says, "Yeah. Well, apparently she had been needing lunch money, so she was just taking money out of that to buy lunch with every day when she would go to work."
Oh, man.
Can you imagine at $50 an ounce, what's 90% be trading for what, 40 times face? So, if $6 McDonald's meal, she's spending $250 to eat McDonald's. Oh, man.
The gas station's closed up the street from us now, but for about a year and a half, this guy kept coming in and he said, "Do you take these?" And the guy told him, "Yeah." And he would buy his cigarettes with him, give him 6 of them.
Yeah.
They were all Silver Eagles. The guy would build up a roll because he'd come in twice a week doing this, and he'd run it into me and sell me the roll of Eagles. I finally asked him one day, I said, "Where are you getting all these Eagles?" He said, "I got a guy that keeps coming in buying my cigarettes. I'm giving him $1 a piece like he told me to." He said, so, I mean, this went on for almost a year. I could not believe it. He kept bringing these things in and out to me. I could not believe it.
That's unreal.
And the bad about it was he could buy cigarettes anywhere else for like $4 and something. He's paying this guy $6.
Oh, wow. I shouldn't laugh at these stories because, obviously somebody's losing. Like, for example, the guy lost a lot of money that his wife spent.
The family lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
because they didn't know what the guy that was bringing it in was a teenager, like 18, 19 years old, just old enough to buy cigarettes. So he was taking it out of the parents'
Yeah.
stash. He just noticed, oh, $1, okay.
Yeah. That's bad. And there's so many other stories you've heard of people robbing grandpa's, coin collection and putting it into a Coinstar. This was a Florida man story. I remember reporting that on the channel like 3-4 years ago. One of the Florida man stories, right? But literally stole his grandfather's coin collection and then took it to a Coinstar. I mean, gosh. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
2 years also ago, the bank up here, the same bank that didn't know somebody ran through their machine because they have an outside machine. It was all 90%. Well, when they was removing the bag, one of the girls noticed that one of the coins fell out of the bag getting out of the machine. And she looked at it, so she looked down in the bag. Almost the whole bag was filled. It was almost 1,000 face of 90%.
And silver?
And silver.
Now, that wasn't a Coinstar, was it? Because when Coinstar, because Coinstar sort the silver out now. But
no, Arvis Bank has their own machine.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay, but what they did was they split the profits off it. I literally filled their bag up with regular change. We put quarters, halves, and everything in there because that's what they want. And the rest came in cash for them to split for the 90%.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and that was a couple of years ago. I think we was paying like 13.5 or something like that. And they, the bottom line is that was almost $13,000 I gave them. It wasn't quite 1,000, but they wanted me to fill the bag up, so I gave them 1,000 face and change. So they gave back the bank a little bit of money, but I don't know how much of it. I think today I don't remember how much, but we ran through our counter and it was sorted halves, quarters, and dimes, and it was something else. I just couldn't have believed that they got it in change.
That's crazy.
But at that point, the bank can't really know who brought it in. I mean, they can watch the camera, but at the same time, it's kind of hard to tell, especially if there's not nobody, because anybody can walk in there and put the change in.
Yep.
Because it's sitting in the alleyway, so it could have been anybody,
Yeah, who knows?
But at that point, they can't guide them back.
Yep. Well, Mike, we'll get off of the stories here. I'm just going to ask you. I'm just going to, ask you a couple more questions. Like, what is demand like now? Like SVB thing's been a few weeks back now. I mean, is demand still high? Obviously, silver and gold.
Well, let's put it this way. I do have one of my founder companies, and they're really a great company for me. I mean, I got a couple companies I can buy just a teeny bit cheaper, but they're still got me on the 5-6 week wait out. These guys moved me to 3 weeks out. So, and that way, at that point, I don't mind paying a quarter more an ounce. I mean, it don't bother me. I mean, because I can get my customer their silver, because when I'm rolling it out 10,000 plus a week right now, I need that silver back. I need it back. I can't wait that long. I mean, because I don't like putting too many people on. We do pre-orders, but we really prefer not to if we can get away with it.
But you have a lot of people coming in, though?
We do.
Gotcha.
We do. We got a lot of phone calls going too. So.
Gotcha. Is this as busy as it's been like in the last 6-9 months? Because I'm hearing from like a lot of the online retailers that they are super, super busy this last few weeks, like compared to what they were, even 6 months ago.
I'm thinking this round here is probably the busiest ever. I mean, I've been in this business a real long time. I've never seen it like this. And we're getting stuff in, but not like we was. Nobody's bringing in bullion. We're getting collectible. And but that's even selling, so it don't really matter. I mean, we're moving. I mean, some guys just say, hey, I don't care, I need gold, I need silver, I'll buy that collectible just so, because I think gold's going to go up higher than that anyway. So, and that's what they're doing. So they're paying a little premium on some stuff. There's a premium anyway on gold and silver right now. Again, I think of last one we was talking about the premiums going down. Now they're going up again.
Going way up, actually, unfortunately.
I mean, it's like a yo-yo, but at this point here, we're looking at a shortage coming on, and that's why you're seeing these delays. And I'm glad that one of my companies is really working hard with me to keep those rolling.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll see how it goes over the next few weeks, and I'll probably have you back on just to kind of get an update. But
okay.
Yeah, it's great.
Come back on.
Yeah, it's definitely noticeable. You're seeing a lot of delays from some of the online retailers as well, outside of their normal timing. So yeah, we'll see how it is. But Mike, I just want to thank you for joining us one more time, and thank you for sharing your stories. And I hope to have you back on soon.
I appreciate you inviting me on again. Thank you. I'll definitely come back when you invite me.
Sounds good. We'll see you then. So there you have it, guys. That was Mike from Mid-America Coins, and as always, it was a pleasure to have him on the channel, and I hope to have him back in the future. Like I said earlier, if you like videos like this, if you want to learn more about silver stacking and more, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos. I'm going to throw a video up above me. If you haven't seen that one yet, go check it out right now, and we will talk to you in the next video.